Good morning. Here we are again. Today we're working on the surface area of cones, and they're kind of like a pyramid because we've got lateral area and one base. So just like yesterday, we've got that slant height. Whoops, stop. That slant height right here. And now we're going to be using the radius to work on our areas. So the lateral area of a cone is pi r slant height, and the whole surface area is going to be that lateral area plus the base. And you guys know how to figure out the area of the circle, so that shouldn't be too tough. Okay, so take a look. We've got lateral area is 1/2 of this. Nope, wrong one. We've got pi. We've got the radius and the slant height. That's where I was going with that. Okay, so what's the radius? Well, the diameter is 16 feet. The radius is going to be half of that, so that's going to be 8. The slant height is right here. It's 9 feet. And so when we type all that out in our calculator, you end up with, I'm going to leave it in terms of pi right now, just because it's easier to figure out the exact number at the end. Okay, so now we have to figure out the base. What's the area of that base? Well, remember, the area is pi r squared. So we're going to say pi. We know the radius is 8 squared. So again, I'm going to leave it in terms of pi. 64 pi, and that's going to be feet squared as well. So now we're just going to put the base in here, and the lateral area. Oops, nope. When I add all that together, I end up with 136 pi. And when I can type this into my calculator, and I end up with 427.3 feet squared. That's the final answer. Okay, so moving on. I've got this cone. Remember, the base is always the circle. So this cone, the area is going to be, the lateral area is going to be pi r. I've got that. That is right here. So that's 7. And the slant height. Oh, shoot. There's nothing on the slant height. Okay. That's all right, because I'm going to pull this triangle out. 7, 24. That's a right triangle. I know it's a triple. If you don't know that it's a triple, you can always do Pythagorean theorem, but this is going to be 25 here. So the slant height is 25. So when you type all that out, you're going to get 175 pi. Okay. Now the base. Pi r squared. Pi 7 squared. Okay, so that's 49 pi. $175 pi plus 49 pi equals 224 pi. When I type that into my calculator, I get 703.7 inches squared. All right, so now we're going to look at a real ice cream cone. And the deal is that we're looking at we're looking at making the paper that goes over the ice cream cone. You've seen those at like at, I don't know, 31 flavors or what have you. So that we have to cover each one of these ice cream cones with paper. So we're going to take paper and cover this. But we're not going to cover the top. We're going to leave that empty. So now we only need the lateral area. We don't need to add the base. So what do I have here? I've got the diameter of the cone is 6 centimeters. Slant height is 15. So this is 15, and the diameter is 6. Okay, well, what do? We say pi. What's the radius? The radius is half of 6. So that's going to be 3, and the slant height is 15. Do all that math, it's 45 pi. Or your final answer is going to be 141.4 centimeters squared. Okay, so now we've got this crazy thing. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. I've got this shape. I've got like a cylinder on top of a cone. Huh, okay. Well, let's figure out the cylinder, the lateral area of the cylinder. Remember that the lateral area of the cylinder is 2 pi radius. The radius is 6 times the height. What's the height of that cylinder? It's 3 feet. So I do all that math, I end up with 36 pi. Now, remember when we were doing the cylinder, we were looking at 2 bases, but this, we only have 1 base. This space down below, we can't see, so that's not part of surface area. So we're only going to look at this 1 base up there. So the base is going to be 1 circle. You guys know how to do that. Pi times the radius squared. So that's 36 pi also. So the surface area of that cylinder with 1 base is going to be 36 pi plus 36 pi, which is 72 pi. All right, now I have to do the cone. Now look at the cone. Again, we don't see this part of the cone. That's not part of the surface area, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to do the lateral area around the cone. So the lateral area around the cone is pi times the radius, which is 6, times the slant height. Okay, shoot. We need the slant height. We don't have it. All right. So I guess I've got to do Pythagorean theorem. I'm going to pull this out. This is 7. This is 6. So when I do my Pythagorean theorem, I say 6 squared plus 7 squared equals x squared. When I did that, I ended up with this side being 9.2. Okay, so that's my slant height. We got it. 9.2 is the slant height. And then we end up with 55.3 pi. All right. Do I have a base? I don't have a base. So the surface area of that cone, or that cone shape, without the base is going to be 55.3 pi. Whoops, that's the black. Now I'm going to take those 2 black numbers and add them together. 72 pi plus 55.3 pi. You end up with 141.4 27.3 pi, which in turn is 399.9 feet squared. Last one. Okay, so we are given a couple of things here. We are given that a cone has a lateral area of 180 pi and a slant height of 15 centimeters. So, just a minute, I lost my notes. Okay, so we need to figure out the radius and the surface area. All right, so let's do the first one. We want this to be pi. Oh, and we don't have the radius. And then the slant height of 15. But we can figure out the radius because they gave us the lateral area. And that's 180 pi.